All right, so we're going to pick back up. We did finish fully factoring this one. I didn't box it, but we did fully factor that one. So let's take a look at this one. This one is another completing the square example. This one's equal to 0, thus prompting me to solve. But the beginning process is going to be the same. This is factoring by grouping because it's 2 sets of 2, 4 terms. Greatest common factor of our red piece, x squared. And then we'd have x. Now, this right here, people get confused. Some people want to tell me 0. But greatest common factor is division. So when we have x squared and we divide it by an x squared, anything divided by itself is just a 1. So there's that first piece after we factor out the greatest common factor of x squared. The second piece, something else that might be confusing to you, is doesn't have a greatest common factor. I have to pull something out, though, in order for this process to work. So greatest common factor with it being division, a number that never changes anything when we divide stuff by it is positive 1. And then hopefully you've recognized that completing the square is successful so far because we have the same term twice. And then we're ready to set up our answer. All right, which is the first term gets our GCFs, so the x squared and the plus 1. And then the other one is just that term that showed up twice. But remember, they never multiplied together because they're separated by this plus sign, so it's not squared. It's just a regular old x plus 1 there. And we are equal to 0. Now, with this being equal to 0, we are prompted to solve. But that's easy because we're factored now, so we just set up both pieces equal to 0. And we solve it out. So this one's the easiest. I'd subtract 1 from both sides. When I subtract 1 from both sides on this one, we get this. When we square root both sides, x would equal plus or minus, because anytime we square root in an equation scenario, we get a plus minus. And the square root of negative 1 is I. All right, and so this is also an answer there. So our answer is plus or minus I, and x is equal to negative 1. And we'll get tons of practice on solving these. Today's emphasis is just on getting them factored. Okay, so for the last set, because we're not going to look at the very bottom section, solving polynomials by factoring. These ones here kind of have two names. I call them x squared factoring. The book will call them A substitution. Okay, so be ready for the book to do that. And I do that on the answer key sometimes, I believe. But I just call them x squared factoring. I'm going to start with the one that's not an equation. Here's how we identify